Welcome to another episode of the Adultish Podcast. You can like, listen, comment, share, and subscribe to Adultish on most streaming platforms. You can also find Adultish on Twitter at AdultishP0DCAST. Welcome, everyone, to a brand spanking new episode of the Adultish Podcast. As always, it's your host, Afiya, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Vincent Bernard. Say hello to the world, Vincent.
Hello, beautiful people. How art thou?
We are great.
I love when Afiya introduces me and she says, my lovely co-host. I immediately just get happy.
Yes, because you are lovely, darling. You are lovely. You are chocolatey. You are melanated. You are all things that is good.
Keep it coming.
I'll try. I got to get a thesaurus so I can say all the good things.
I was looking at Afiya earlier and I just had to say, you're so beautiful. Because you ever look at someone and then you just, you always know that they're beautiful, but then you look at them in a certain light and it's just
Thank you,
oh, it all comes together. And she was just like, oh, thank you, and brushed it off. And I'm like, no, let me bask in this compliment.
I really did. He was just like, Afiya, you're so beautiful. And I was just like,
just like,
thank you.
Thank you. Right. Because Afiya is awkward.
I am.
And
I don't know how to
that
take a
with love.
compliment.
I mean that with love. But
yes. And it's all because I have a new look, which I don't know if I want to unveil it on social media yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. I think you have to live in it a little bit longer.
Yeah, I got to live in it. And I also want to just make sure that I do a little upkeep and a little stuff before I show it off.
Right.
People at my job are like, well, oh my goodness, look at this girl.
Look at this one. It's edgy. It's
like,
edgy. It's who Afiya really is inside.
And I'm like, thanks, guys. This just feels natural to me. But okay, sure. I look edgy.
Right.
This just feels right to me.
But see, I know that this human lives in you. They don't.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of, I read your writing.
Yes.
So I'm aware of who this person is.
And that was kind of the thing too, because when I came into work and they were like, oh, wow, oh, I love your hair. And I was like, thanks. And they're like, oh, what made you decide to do this? And I'm like, something I've always wanted to do. So I just did it.
Right.
And I love it. I feel like it just takes me. And I always knew that looking this way would just take to me naturally. I always knew that, but I just never did it. So
I'm glad you did.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So different.
I know. You got to shock mofos sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta shake them up just a little bit. But here's the shakeup that we want to talk about today.
I know.
Vincent he's in his bag, but in his Fendi, Prada, Gucci bag over Disney Plus.
I know. So here's the tea, y'all.
Yes, pop.
I had to get that pop out. So Disney Plus came out. My sister was excited about this, and she was like, November 12th. So, of course, like we tend to do, I got on her sign-in. Mm-hmm. I hope that no one from Disney Plus is listening and going to come for my ass.
No, they ain't going to come for you. They should have expected this to happen. They should have expected
this, right?
Come on.
But, y'all, I'm in my bag because, the moment... So, first off, it has everything. Now, Afiya and I, we are Disney aficionados. Yes. We are Disney fans. Yep. Afiya used to write a blog about watching Disney cartoons as an adult.
Facts.
And what that meant to her. And so, I'm going through... all of the cartoons, all of the Pixar, all of the Marvel stuff, getting my entire life. We're talking about 90s X-Men. We're talking about Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, all of it. And so I immediately thought of Afiya when, as I was going through my shows, I came across, drum roll please, Gargoyles.
Oh.
Okay? Gargoyles. Now, Afiya and I, one of our first bonding moments, I'm not even sure she remembers this, but in Brooklyn College, one of our first bonding moments was over Gargoyles on the 6th bus going home when she was coming home from cheerleader practice.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
It was Gargoyles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And the Southern Vampire series.
Yes. And the Sookie Stackhouse novels. Yes. Absolutely.
Honey, so...
Tell them.
Gargoyles for us is Oh my God! Like, where do we begin?
It's life.
It's life. It is.
It's
like,
so good.
Yes, it's so good.
It's such
Keith
a good ass
David.
show.
It's a good show. It's Keith David in that majestic voice as Goliath. It's
Sally Richardson.
It's Sally Richardson. It's Damona. It's everything. It's
all those Star Trek alumni.
It has Star Trek on there too.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It does.
A lot of Star Trek alumni.
Yes. So, and the thing about me, I'm going to say something that may upset some of you, but I'm not a huge Star Wars.
Yeah.
You said
No,
Star Trek.
No, Star Trek
2?
Like deep. No, Star Trek. The next. Is it the next gen? Which one? Next generation. The one with.
I like Star Trek, and the next generation is the shit.
With Patrick Stewart.
Yes, that's the next generation.
Yes.
Yes.
So some of the people from that were the voices in
and Gargoyles were.
Mm-hmm.
I did
some of the
not
writers
know
from
that.
Star Trek worked on Gargoyles, and that's why they ended up following and went to Gargoyles and did the vocal acting on the show.
So that's why the story is that good and tight. It's the same. Yo, I watched the first 3 episodes last night, Afiya, and I'm already back in it. Like
I want to get back in it.
Yeah, please do. Like, it's my sister sign in. I may see if I can like slide you them that sign in and that password. You know what I'm saying? Sis?
I mean, I only need it for like I'm gonna just say like a weekend. So
a weekend?
I can just,
that's it?
No, I don't. But I'm telling y'all a weekend, so that way, you know, if she keeps seeing me pop up, you could be like, oh, it's probably this weekend that she's on it as opposed to next weekend.
I'm sorry. Like, I was like, we just need like a 10 to 20 minute riff on this. And I mean, and it can segue into the other streaming services. But guys, like Disney Plus. Okay, so first off, I read an article today that said that Disney Plus got 10 million subscribers their first day.
Wow.
Now, it's
that
real.
Huge.
It's real. And now what I would like to do is to figure out like what the demographic and the psychographic is of the people that are subscribing.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if it is of the millennial.
I want to say it is of the millennial.
Yeah. Because this is something this is what we've been looking for.
We've been looking for. And to piggyback on that, so today I was at work and I was discussing the whole Disney Plus thing because I have been seeing people losing their shit. And I was telling Vincent, it's like people have been going ape shit on Twitter over Disney Plus. Like,
yes.
To the point where it's just like, oh my goodness, I'm in so many feels because I'm seeing all these different things that I haven't seen since I was a child.
Long time.
And so I think Disney knew what they were doing because they know for a fact that millennials, we are big on nostalgia. Like we kind of can't stand what's going on presently and continually live in the 90s. I know that is me for a fact because I listen to 90s R&B more than I listen to anything. I listen to 90s hip hop more than anything. And I think that 90s family TV shows were like some of the best television in the world. Like, don't tell me that Family Matters did not mean anything to you or did not affect your life. Like,
don't tell me that TGIF on Channel 7 did not mean nothing to you.
Did not mean anything to you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still, and just to bring it back even further, take two steps. Like, I was going through Forever 21 the other day trying to look for just for a few things. And it's because I'm in Forever 21 and I actually did like an IG story. The fashion in Forever 21 right now is step by step chic.
Stop it.
Is Family Matters, like runway. It is all the clothes from the 90s that you would see on 90s sitcoms.
Right.
That is what is in Forever 21 right now. So the style right now is 90s.
Yes.
And it's funny because as of, you know, the new year 2020, the 90s will have been 30 years ago.
Oh my effing God.
I know. And us as millennials, when we think of 30 years ago, we immediately go to like the 70s.
The 70s.
Like immediately we think of 70s. So like for me, I'm like, why the 90s? And then I'm like, oh shit. Like the 90s is legit going to be like 30 years ago. So, you know, it's that whole revamping, that whole like after 30 years, you bring back whatever that was. Because in the 90s, bell bottoms were the thing.
Bell bottoms came back. And
which
I remember
was in the 70s.
Yes. And I remember in the late 90s, my sister used to love her bell bottom jeans. And my mom was like, yo, back in the 70s, that's what we were rocking.
I used to wear that. Bell bottom bottoms, espadrilles, like platform
Yes.
shoes. Like that was the shit. You would have your Delia's magazine and like flip through it, and I'd be like, I want these, but I can't afford them for $35.99.
Exactly.
But I want these,
honey. You get that Finger Hut magazine,
Yes.
and you was like, "What? Let me give it a gander."
Yes,
You got your electronics from there, and you got your clothes from Finger Hut.
everything.
But
So that's what it is. I think like us as millennials, as a group of folks, like
Right.
we live for the love of nostalgia,
Right.
and Disney Plus, they hit that note because
Yes.
they know for a fact the majority of children in the world
Yes.
who grew up in the 90s, we grew up in that renaissance of Disney.
Yes, the Renaissance, the early 90s when we got the Little Mermaid, we got Beauty and the Beast, we got Aladdin, and we got Lion King, and those are four huge
hits.
ones. And
Yeah.
then Pixar came out, we got Toy Story, we started getting like A Bug's Life and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And all of that is up there, girl. Like before I set it on Gargoyles, I had to see what was there.
What was there.
But for me, like Gargoyles was the cake, and I immediately thought about you. I immediately thought about you, and I said, okay, I'm going to meet Afiya tomorrow. We're talking about
gonna
Disney
talk about
Plus.
this,
We're
yes.
talking about Gargoyles. Now, as you guys know, Afiya and I are both writers, and as writers, for us, story is everything.
Storytelling is key.
It's everything, and I had to stop every bit of myself to stop texting Afiya last night because see, what happens is, y'all, I get a little stoned, I smoke a bowl, have a drink, and I watch things, and things that I know Afiya likes, like Avatar or whatever, I start sending her text messages. And it's one thing if, like, there's a couple of years ago, it's been a while, but one time a couple of years ago, I was going through an Avatar thing, and she just got like a litany of messages from me at night, like, oh my God, Katara just blocked Hamid so-and-so, so I'm getting so much life right now.
Blood bending.
Yes,
Hashtag blood bending.
Hashtag love bending. And I had to stop myself from doing that last night. I was gonna be, oh my God, girl, Demona, did you see the way she jumped at that princess? Because if y'all don't watch Gargoyles, y'all need to understand Demona hates humans. First off, if you don't know who Demona is, watch Gargoyles.
Yes, please do.
That was Goliath's angel of the night. Honey. When he said, okay, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done.
Get in it. Get into it.
Thank you for giving me permission.
Get into it.
There is a scene in the first 3 episodes is Awakening. So this is when you see them in Scotland, right?
Yes.
So there's this one scene, and I have goosebumps now, where first off, shout out to Keith David for being an excellent voice actor.
Wait, hold on. Let me.
Can you, like,
I gotta
at him?
give him like
Can
this
you at
round of
him?
applause. I got
Yeah.
Keith.
Because
He did the damn thing with that voice, that
Shakespearean voice. Even when he
Arthurian, just all
yes.
Camelot, just
yes.
all of that shit.
All of
like,
that shit. All of it. And there's this one particular scene where in the first episode, like, there's a huge betrayal. And so when Goliath comes back to the castle and realizes that his clansmen, his brothers, his brother Gargoyles and sister Gargoyles are dead, he finds the traitor. The traitor winds up falling off the cliff, and then he goes, I've been denied everything, even my revenge. And his wings goes up in the sky. And it's just like last night, Afiya, I kid you not, last night I was like, this is why we fucking love this cartoon.
Yeah.
Because the
so
story,
good.
And I felt for him.
You do feel for him.
Yes.
Especially because as you talk about Demona was his angel of the night.
Yes.
She was his companion.
Yes.
And he thought she had perished in this betrayal. So he literally felt like he lost everything. Including his revenge, including the ability to just stick it to the person who took all of that shit from him.
His eyes glows.
All of that. It's really, when I say it's a really good show, and I know I've mentioned it on prior podcasts about how good Gargoyles is.
Yes.
Like, let me, I have to bring it back. Let me rewind
Bring it
it
back.
for y'all.
Yeah, take it for a few.
This show is so good because of everything that it encompasses. According to Vincent and myself, one, the writing is just on par.
Yes.
Number one. And and for a cartoon, it can be a hit or miss, because you can have cartoons where it's just like, it's the realist, like, it's hyper surreal, where it's like it's super goofy.
Right.
Or like it can miss the mark with some realism, but like there's a certain awareness in the realism in Gargoyles where it's like, it's serious, enough for you to take in what's going on, but it's light enough for you to understand, okay, it's a cartoon.
Right. Yes.
Because of the mere fact, like, okay, it's gargoyles. Like, it's make-believe animal, like,
yeah.
Creatures. So we can't take it so serious. But the content that they brought you, Gargoyles was a friggin' soap opera for me. It was a after-school soap opera. I would come home, sit down, prop my shit up, because they used to show, I think, at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, yep.
I would drop my shit, sit down in front of this TV for 30 minutes at 4 o'clock and ingest this entire show. Okay? The things that made Gargoyles great. One, it's culturally just a melting pot of everything, right?
I mean, Xanatos,
first and foremost,
is he like Greek?
He's Greek. So we have a